I believe that we're live. So while I'm waiting for confirmation of our live-atudity, I want to remind everyone to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list. There's all kinds of links on there. You can go to lolasdeals.com or find Lola's Deals in the menu. Lola's always posting deals and stuff like that for you guys. She spends a lot of time sifting and ciphering and doing all kinds of Lola-ness through all those deals to share them with you all. As well as you can...
pretty awesome.
Yeah, she is. She's very, very awesome. Very awesome. So there's all the things that you could do to support us is in there. If you want links to Ballistic Ink, where you can get our shirts and stuff like that, you can go through there. If you want to check out Manscaped and take care of your manly businesses, Dave, I don't know if you know about this, but I'm trying to get it in here before we get deep into this. You can
trim the bush, trim the fur.
You can get by using the code Strange20, you can get 20% off at Manscaped, including free shipping and all kinds of stuff. So go to Hank Strange. That's where you're gonna find all that stuff. Okay. On top of that, I want to remind everyone that the show is brought to us by Harry's Holsters. Shout out to them. You can use the code, I believe it's Hank Strange at Harry's Holsters. That gets you 10% off the entire store, except I think for clearance items. So shout out to Harrison. If he's out there, let me press the button. This is going to be a fun show. It's going to be a fun show. Let me press the button and get it going here.
Welcome back to the
Boom!
Hank Strange situation.
Walter is not doing the booms. Make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, so you can be notified whenever we are live. Come on, let's do jazz hands. Let's do jazz hands. Let's get it going. Jazz hands. There you go. All right. I hope you got your big girl panties on. This is episode 578 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Our special guest is right there. There he goes. Dave Saylors. Look at that.
Oh, sorry, Patrick, stop texting me.
Look at that. What is happening? I don't even know what's going on.
Sending dick pics.
Starting early
AIM
with
has
the
expert
nonsense.
for 150? Really? They do? Wow.
Why are you saying that out loud? That's between us.
Yeah. So,
let me go check it out.
Yeah. Dave Saylors of Liberty Suppressors. Welcome back to the fiasco that I call this show.
There's deals out there, man.
I think I might have to get one up. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. How are you, Dave? Let's start with Dave, please. That's okay.
I'm better than Walter, apparently.
I'm always in the poop house with Hank. So.
Yeah. Okay. We also have Walter Keller of Safety Harbor joining us. There he goes, showing off his boots. These are assault boots. These are
motocross boots. Nothing to do with assault.
Looks good. Looking good.
Alpine Stars.
Yes, and then on top of that, we also have Babyface P. There he goes, joining us as well. So this should be a fun show here. Let me see if I can get everyone popped into to Windows here. There we go. All right. Gentlemen,
look at them boots. Woo!
Yeah. Walter is so proud of these boots that he was giving it away. For what I heard through the grapevine, Walter was giving those boots away today in Safety Harbor. You just had to be in the right place at the right time, and you would have gotten these.
Yeah, if you're one of those porch thieves. Yeah.
Yeah. So. There you go.
That is a shooting offense if you're stealing something off my porch. So just remember that.
Right. Only if you're there. Only if you're there.
They call that a termination offense. No.
I'm gonna terminate that order.
Yeah. So we've got lots of things, whatever you guys want to talk about, as well as obviously we've got some things here that we want to talk about with you all that we'll get into. But definitely taking boots off the old porch there, is that an insurrection act?
That is a looting act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
speaking of that, we'll keep going. We'll get into that whole looting thing too.
Yeah.
There's some good looting stories. So.
Yeah, we've got a ton of stuff. We've got a ton of stuff that we could talk about. I want to make sure everyone's good out there. If you guys have something you need to talk about, you can let us know. We'll talk about it. Hopefully everyone's feeling good out there. Hopefully everyone's safe and sound. I know that there are some people that may not be safe and sound. But if you're not safe and sound and you're listening to this, you might want to get off the internet
Listen,
you
I
go.
went full roof Korean last night and went down. There's a picture of a roof
There's
Korean.
no
using-
racism on this show.
The roof Koreans. Come on, that's not racist. They
Hey,
defended their stuff.
they
It's
take care of
apparently a
business,
meme.
so Koreans
It's
do,
apparently a meme,
Yeah.
Dave.
No,
It's a meme.
there was a picture of one of the guys back on his roof. He was in a picture back in 1993 or 94.
Yeah.
So he did another
What's
picture.
the same cat?
Same. He had his M1 carbine, and I went down to the safe and I was like, I'm gonna get my M1 carbine out, and I'm gonna be a roof Korean, and I sat it next to me.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Yes.
No.
No, there isn't anything wrong with that. By the way, I think that Ballistic Ink. Let me see if I can find it, because Ballistic Ink has a Roof Korean shirt. I know they were sending me.
You know what? Nobody screwed with their businesses. That block that had the roof Koreans on it, nobody fucked with those businesses. Just saying.
You see the guys out in Idaho, the militia assembled downtown because they had word that the bad people were on their way.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
Yeah, the
I didn't-
Antifa
Yeah.
types and stuff.
Here, I'm
And,
gonna roll this in for the people watching. If you guys want to see, look, check that out. This is the in a world where looters exist. Be a Roof Korean. So there you go. It's over at Ballistic Ink. Make sure you go to the Hank Strange store, because you can get that from the Hank Strange store. So and if there are any Pro 2A Koreans out there, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just make your voices heard. For that matter, people of any flavor, we're welcoming to all the peoples. So there you go.
Here's the picture.
I don't know.
There's a picture I saw the other day, and I was like, man, I need to go play with my M1 carbine.
Yeah.
I haven't touched that gun
Like,
in
you
a couple
actually
days.
need a reason for that.
I know, right?
Like, you actually need a reason. And then someone, I forgot who it was. Oh, Camp David says, talk guns, please. What?
Oh, we'll talk guns tonight. Dave,
ahead.
replied
What's
to
up?
him. No, RBR Pulling said, really impressed with my Liberty regulator.
Yes.
Thank you.
And by the way, if people have questions, if they have questions for Liberty suppressors, we'll definitely get to those. Hold on, let me throw up. There's the picture that Patrick wants to share with everyone.
You didn't have to share it out, but yeah.
There you go. Is he
Yeah,
smoking a cigar?
He's smoking a cigar, and it made me go, man, I need to play with my.
What's the name of this guy? Do you know what this?
I
gentleman's
don't
name
know. I'm not sure.
is? Oh, see, well, that's the first thing you should know. You need to find out. Another thing I wanted. So while we have Dave here, yes, we'll take questions definitely for Liberty suppressors here. There was the article. I'm trying to find, where is this article? I'm trying to find the article. Here we go. So if you guys go to Amalan News, you can find this article here, an interview that I did, catching up with David Saylors of Liberty Suppressors. There's an interview there. There's a little write up, and you can also find the video on YouTube. Which, like I was telling you, Dave, YouTube went and demonetized. Is Dave frozen?
I think he is.
Or did he just decide he was like, no, there's just way
Just
too.
smile at the screen.
This is
no,
not.
I think he's frozen.
Dave is like, yeah, I'm not gonna let Babyface. Yeah, he'll probably be back here in a second.
He will.
Yeah, we'll get him back here in a second. So anyway, go check out. Is Walter also frozen?
Oh, and is he back? Oh, Walter is frozen. Hank, I think it's you. There's Dave. Dave's
Wait,
back.
No, mine. I pulled the stupid power cord off my Mac and it ran dead, and I didn't know it shut down on me.
Oh wow.
Walter,
Like an idiot.
Same thing. He's sitting still right now.
Yeah, Walter is frozen in side neck face. So I don't know now, Walter. So anyway, the article's up of me and Dave. We did an interview. It's on AMOLand News. You can also get the video on YouTube, but YouTube did demonetize that video. So if you guys haven't seen it, whenever they do that kind of stuff, they suppress the discovery of it. So you guys will have to go there and check that out. And you can also find it on Gunstreamer as well. So let's see. Babyface, if you see any questions specifically for Liberty,
Keep an eye.
let me know. Let me know out there.
That's gonna have to go with it.
Yeah, and we're gonna await Walter getting back in here now, after he has to restart everything.
So John Parsons says, can you ask Dave which can he recommends for rimfire? Well, there's kind of like one answer to that, but Dave, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, the Vector. But
Yeah.
no, I'm saying the Vector. Let's see what Dave says.
Can we actually show silencers on TV
Yes.
anymore?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
On the inside.
That's a regulator. The regulator is the quietest. The Vector, if you don't like fighting them when you maintenance them, the Vector is a little bit, it's a little louder, but like 3 or 4 dB, not much.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends. Do you want absolute suppression or do you want easy to clean? Because this one is almost impossible to clean if you let it go too long.
Oh, really?
But the regulator is super quiet, but it's older technology and it's hard to clean. It just is.
I will throw this out there, having put many tens of thousands of rounds through my 22 suppressor. Easy to clean is a big deal for a 22 can. When you're talking like rifle cans, obviously it doesn't matter. When you're talking 22, those things get filthy fast. Is the regulator what's the one that you're saying is easier to clean, Dave?
This one, the Vector.
The Vector. I would say.
Is it a stack baffle or like how do you design it?
Technically, it's 2 different designs in one. I can't zoom in on my own picture, so it's hard for me to.
Whatever camera you're using, by the way, looks awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Here,
That's
we'll
a
go
Nikon
for
D810.
Yeah, we'll go.
Oh, you're
full
using your Nikon. Cool.
Yeah. Dave is doing a very subtle flex on everyone out there right now. Very subtle flex. There you go. Yeah, we'll zoom in on you, Dave, so you can show us whatever you need to. It's all.
Yeah, here's what I'm doing. I'll do that. Is it in focus?
Yeah.
In focus.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Vector in the short configuration. There's an extension that goes on the end of it that's over here in this hard shell case that adds an inch and gives you about 3 more baffles and puts about 3 more dB. Mm-hmm. When I run it on a rifle, like I have it on a 22 rifle down here, then I run it in the short configuration, and it only adds like 4 1/4 inches to the length of the weapon because you run a 1/2 inch of it down inside over the barrel thread, so you're only adding about 4 1/2 inches or so to the length of the platform like this. And you can shoot it like this on pistols. It just has a little more first round pop.
Mm-hmm. All right, there you go.
Yeah, this is the ticket.
Yeah.
That I did a video a while back on doing the dip, like a can. I am not the type that like the lightweight aluminum cans are cool and all, but give me stainless steel so I can just dump that crap in the dip and let it run overnight, and then
now to expand on that a little. This is an aluminum tube, but it's not engaged in the baffles. Yeah, the way it's made is there's basically the baffles are a silencer inside of this that do not touch the tube. So once you take the front cap off with a 3/8 ratchet, just stick it in there and break it loose. And then the rear cap, we've got a little round, like you could call it a wrench, but it's more just an extension of a gripping surface so that it fit over these extensions to keep you from putting pliers on it. And that allows you to run the rear cap out. It's just screwed in hand tight. And then the baffles are actually sandwiched between them, and there's about 10 thousandths of clearance all the way around, all the way down. And we've got the baffles engineered to keep the blast gases from shooting through the joints where they link together, and you don't get the carbon buildup between the tube and the stainless baffles. So you take your cap off, dump your baffles out, which are stainless nasty baffles, throw them in your dip, and your tube's fine. You clean with a little bit of hops, just get the residue out of it, and you're done. Literally, I shot 2,300 rounds through it and took it apart with my fingers.
If I were buying, like if I were in the market for another 22 can, that's the design that I look for. Like that's the design that I like.
Yeah. If you have a Vector or any Liberty suppressors for that matter, and you go to their YouTube channel, you can get a lot of videos on maintenance and stuff like that. Dave makes those videos himself. They're pretty good. So I recommend everyone check that out.
I actually videoed that 2,200 round schedule of fire and me disassembling it at the end. That's actually a YouTube video on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the regulator, the first one that you were showing us, just 22. What happens if someone's had that for a while and never cleaned it? Now what do they do?
They send it back to us.
All right,
and we'll clean it. We'll get it apart for them. I mean, yeah, I would rather them send it to us stuck as to try and drive it out of the tube and damage it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it will fuse the core to the tube with the carbon. It's just the nature of these designs. It's a monorail system, and the tube is exposed, and it just happens. Now, some people have experimented with it. This only part on this, and it's aluminum, is this little overcap. And you notice it comes off. This can ain't been cleaned in a while, and it's still screwed right off. This is, that's pretty stuck. But that's stainless core internals and a titanium tubes. You could stand this up in something like a mason jar or something and dip that, and it would probably soften that joint enough that you could get that out without damaging it.
Okay.
But,
yeah. And
for anybody curious, the dip is hydrogen peroxide and vinegar. It makes peracetic acid. So don't drink it. Don't put your hands in it. You're supposed to dispose of it properly.
Yeah, it forms lead acetate when it's not nice stuff.
Your neighbor's cats will love it because it's lead sugar basically, and it's sweet. So don't go dumping it in your backyard.
Your pets will thank you for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then keel over.
Yep.
So, here's a question. This is from me. If people have questions, let us know. Is it easy or difficult if you've already bought a suppressor, done all the paperwork, and you got it out of prison or ATF jail, and then you have it home? Is it easy or difficult to now send it back to a suppressor manufacturer like yourself to have it maintained or serviced or what have you?
No more difficult than a regular Title I firearm. You literally contact the company. Typically, they'll have like an RMA number and a return authorization or something, and all that's used for, as far as our business is concerned, is it couples the conversation from the sales and customer service team to the office personnel that are logging in the receiving. That way, they know together what's going on. That's all that RMA does. But yeah, you'll call them and get an RMA or a return a RA or something to that effect, and then put that in the box and mail it to us. And if it's a warranty issue, we'll fix it and we can mail it back. The Gun Control Act provides that channel of service as long as you send it back to the original manufacturer. There's no paperwork required. The ATF has even stated they don't want your Form 5s for that anymore. It just clogs up the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know some people out there might be on the fence when it comes to issues like that. They're like, oh, what happens? Do I have to go through this all over again?
That also applies for regular firearms too. Back to the manufacturer for repairs or warranty work.
And then manufacturer can ship it directly back to you.
Right back.
Right back. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right back to your house. Yeah. So it's funny how that works.
It's. I was gonna say it's almost as if we could just do that regularly, but that'd be illegal.
Yeah.
You gotta go back in time, my friend.
Exactly.
Or in the future, we'll be voting for President Babyface P.
Oh God! Could you imagine how I would ruin this country?
No, not ruin. Don't say that.
For everybody.
Someone will use that as a soundbite.
You got my vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm in. You don't know how much crime. I'm just gonna walk around with on my phone with videos of me and you, man. I'm doing whatever I want.
He's my friend. I know him. We're close friends.
Like diplomatic immunity, biatch. So I will definitely help with your campaign when you get ready to do that. Yeah. So just so you know here. Let's see, what else do we have? I don't know if there's any questions there, Patrick. Keep an eye on that. People have more questions about this. One of the things that we talked about in that interview that I did with Dave is the 50 BMG can. Boom.
Yeah. Hey, Walter.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm ready for you, man. I'm ready for you.
Here they are.
Oh, look at that.
Swing.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Let's see.
Solid
let's see
titanium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Muzzle brakes.
It's for somebody's pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes. There's the muzzle brake.
Nice. So this is Cerakoted?
Yes.
Okay.
The muzzle brake is 17.4 heat-treated, precipitation-hardened stainless steel. Basically stronger than 4140, but won't rust. And then the whole silencer, I think, except the rear mount, is grade 5 titanium, every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing, the silencer only weighs, I think we weighed one the other day at 39.5 ounces.
How, compared to like steel, is titanium that much stronger?
Yes.
Is it really? Okay.
It's 4 times stronger than like 316 stainless steel.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just way more expensive to work with, right?
Yeah, it's harder on your machines, and it's much more costly just to buy the raw material, and then you have a higher tooling wear because it's so abrasive on your cutters. You can go, you just eat cutters. The drill bits to drill this is nightmare.
Yeah, Pixamite says wow. That's from Pixamite, and Kathleen Music Lover says this is a huge can.
When it comes to 50 BMG, there's nothing small about it.
Yeah.
Any part of any 50 BMG.
Yeah. And Walter is obviously too busy to even pay attention. So here's what
I'm listening.
Here's what I will say to you, Dave. You can send that to Safety Harbor Firearms, care of Hank Strange.
Okay, send it attention, Hank Strange.
Yeah.
You can send it. You can put it in the care of Mickey Mouse, but you ain't getting the damn.
So yeah, when is that heading out to all Safety Harbors?
As soon as we see the Form 3, which we may have, I'll find out in the morning the exact. They should have a Form 3 on this by now, because I think we got Walter's data in our database. I'm pretty sure we do, because I think we sent you some cans once already.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So for anybody, we should have a live Form 3. It should be leaving next
anybody
day.
That's sitting in here watching, all 3 besides me on the panel right now are all SOTs. So they're all playing in a very big game that the rest of us just can't take part in without the proper paperwork.
Somebody was talking about getting machine guns before we went live here.
That's transferable. Which is even worse because it's 10 times the price.
Yeah, absolutely. But also 1,000 times the fun. Yeah. So Walter.
Yes, sir.
You've got a 50 for this. I take it. Is it the Hank? Is this thing going on the Hank or what?
Well, I mean, I have a 50 sitting here for David. I got to send to him. That's part of the deal.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to inscribe that one. That one needs to be inscribed the Hank.
The Hank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I know Dave calls this the Behemoth, by the way, also AKA the Hank. That's what the suppressor is called. I'm adding that name right now. That's my nickname.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I lost you guys for a second. But,
yeah.
I'm just blame it on Babyface, all right? You know? He told me about something, and I'm like,
did you go buy one already?
It's close.
Is it worth? Okay, so for anybody out there, AIM Surplus has quote unquote X grade, which is like the lowest tier. Yugo M57s, which are basically the Russian 1911 in 7.62 25 Tokarev.
It's the Yugo version of the Tokarev.
Yugo for 157.
$150. I put it in chat. Wow. I put it in our chat. I don't have it.
Oh, that's what that link is.
Yeah, the Yugo. They're 150
I saw the picture.
on AIM.
The last time I did an X grade gun from AIM, it was just as nice as the regular gun I'd bought from AIM. My opinion.
Oh.
Okay.
So
I'll throw up a picture for anyone who doesn't know. There you go.
The only thing that they're saying here, I guess, is that these in the past shot corrosive ammo, so the barrels are a little rough, but they still shoot fine.
Okay.
But I feel like I don't have one. I feel like for $150.
Hey, No.
How expensive is a barrel to no one's probably making barrels for those, right, Walt?
You can get military barrels. I mean,
if I buy it, I'm just shooting the shit out of it.
Yeah, you can't get like threaded barrels and stuff. I don't think anybody's making those. But it's in the 7.62 by 25, so that's the real McCoy. So
I bet Safety Harbor will make a barrel for it.
I won't be on that.
Don't start that. Don't start.
Let's see. Kathleen Music Lover.
I could have somebody make the barrel for me. Yes. and then I can sell it to you. Yes.
Right. You have to share with the rest of us. Let's see, Kathleen Music Lover, and she's talking about the Hank, about calling the Behemoth the Hank, or the SHTF 50 the Hank. She says, or AKA ass missiles.
We're getting going already on that.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, that's all. Walter, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure you are.
Now a question I have for David. Let me go back over here, back to the thing.
Okay.
With the can on, how's the recoil?
Because we shot it on the Barrett single shot. What's that? The Model 99 or whatever it is.
Right.
And the bolt action single shot, and it kicked. I had a good friend of mine that we made one for, and he akined it to a 3.5 inch 12 gauge, but with the can installed, because it does dampen the effects of the muzzle brake when the can captures it.
Yeah, because it's not venting to the atmosphere, so it can't work
tolerable, though. Like 3.5 inch magnums hurt, but it's tolerable.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have a decent stock on your gun, then if you got a decent ergos on your gun, you'll be okay.
Now let me ask a question here. I have shot subsonic. Have you shot subsonic 50 cal before?
No, I didn't know they even made it.
How many? I hope you have some, Walt.
Imagine 550 grains going extra quiet into a target.
And
it would sound like a Kia driving down the interstate. That's the sound of the bullet flying through the air.
It depends on the barrel length, right, Walt?
A little bit, but yeah, I mean, you're still pushing it about 1,000 feet per second or something like that. Whatever it is, and it's definitely it's nice and quiet and real light recoil. So virtually no recoil. So it's fun.
But not going fast enough, obviously, to set off Tannerite. Right? What's that stuff that doesn't need to go that fast to set off? What's the?
It'll set off Tannerite.
Oh, it will. Okay.
It'll set Tannerite off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, what you do is you get one of the little 22 poppers and you sit it right beside the big boy.
Oh boy.
Get it to talk to it.
Yeah. Detroit Ammo Company, 725 grain, 50 BMG.
Yeah. Now remember, subsonic.
Okay.
That is a heavy ass bullet.
We have shot the regular M33 ball subsonic, and then we cast some lead bullets, about 500 grain.
Really? How does work?
And they work pretty well. It doesn't affect, it doesn't melt the back of the lead because the powder charge is not that great.
So instead of $5,
so you need gas checks.
Yeah.
They didn't. The ones we shot, I don't think had gas checks on them.
You get leading in your bore because of that.
I don't, because of it melting the base of the cartridge from the.
Yeah.
I don't think it does it. The
subsonic pressure.
Yeah, the subsonic rounds use one of the pistol red dot. You use red dot.
What about 70 grains of it?
Yeah, I know. Jesus.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'd have to ask him about what the powder weight charge is, but yeah, use red dot because there was a time a couple years ago you couldn't find red dot anywhere because everybody was buying it up because of when things were crazy and nutty. When 22 was expensive, you couldn't find red dot anywhere.
What's red dot? Is that like is that
the pistol powder?
The pistol powder.
It's a shotgun / pistol powder.
Yeah,
I use it in my 300 whisper loads. Like 5.5 grains of red dot with a 200 grain projectile and a 300 whisper is spooky. It's some good stuff.
So here you're using same premise. Just with a 50.
Yeah.
But if you're casting, you got to steal the wheel weights off of your entire neighborhood of cars.
No, you don't.
Cast 50 PMG.
You make one round.
Yeah. What's
500 grain cast bullets are not okay.
They're
big, but they're not.
It's like driving like this because the steel.
They're little bitty things. They're cute.
I was gonna say Go ahead.
No, you could probably buy like pre-cast 500 grain bullets for like the 50, 100, and just use them, couldn't you?
You could. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, you could just even go M33 ball projectiles, and it works. Yeah. So it was fun.
650.
Yeah. We'll have to. I think I still have some of that loaded up. I'll have to talk to the person I got the other stuff from and maybe get some more. I got a whole jug of red dot that I bought. We haven't done anything with, and I got lots of empty brass.
It sounds to me like it's time to load up some 50 BMG.
Oh yeah. I was gonna ask this: Does Aguila make any 50 BMG? Do they make some Subsonico?
No.
Supersonic.
Yeah. How much?
Can you imagine sniper subsonic and 50 BMG? It'd be like a 3,800 grain lead bullet and 2 grains of bullseye behind it.
Yeah. What does the subsonic 50 BMG cost?
Well, somebody in the chat said $20 a round.
No,
right?
if you're buying it from somebody, but not to load it up. No, it doesn't cost. I mean, it's easy to load up, really, because it doesn't. I have reloading dies for 50, but it really, I think it doesn't take. Well, it's not hard to do. Just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's. And the rounds.
Don't you need a special reloading press to size 50 cal brass?
Yeah, it's just a bigger press. Yeah, you can get if you're going on the cheap, you can get the ones from Lee. Lee has a 50 cal press.
They're not they're like $50 for one. They're not that expensive.
They're not crazy expensive, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing lots and lots and lots of 50 cal, you want to get the better stuff. But if you're just loading up stuff for like that subsonic stuff,
Yeah. Start loading up some subsonic right now, Walter. And you might want to get some, I don't know, lawnmowers or whatever.
Refrigerator.
What are we blowing up this weekend?
Start getting them ready. Razor JB, and this is going back to talking about the titanium. He says, I used to play with titanium and the money was in the tooling it destroyed. It ate up some tooling for sure. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
The good old titanium. Shout out to everyone who's out there. Smash the thumbs ups. If you guys are coming in right now, please smash the thumbs ups. We appreciate that. And the Juice says, I think it's $1 to reload with plain Jane ball. That's from the Juice. So there you go.
Versus, it's like $6 a round if you buy factory.
Yeah. For what? Yeah. For what?
50 cal.
For 50?
For 50 cal. $5 or $6 a round.
No. You can get M33 ball for 3-ish around 3-ish.
That's not that
bad. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's military ball ammo. It's not special. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Depending on what you get. Now, if you start getting like the Hornady AMAX stuff, you can go $5-6 a round, $7 a round, depending on who you get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. The Archangel says, Dave Saylors, don't y'all have a suppressor for a cannon? Laugh out loud.
I wrote him back. I told him, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, let's make a cannon and make a suppressor for it. How about that?
I think somebody's actually tried to do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You say tried. What does that mean? Where did they wind up? Did they wind up in the hospital? What does tried mean?
Have you seen the howitzer suppressors?
That thing they drive the tank up to?
Yeah, they put it into it, and it's like this massive tube that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. They were
looks like a water tower welded to a frame.
Yeah. They were saying that they test in some bomb range just outside of a big city in California. They do a lot of howitzer testing, so they use those, and they're like, nobody in the city even knows we shoot out here.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Walter,
that's awesome.
We need to work on this.
I have enough to work on.
I want a cannon for on top of the that big structure we have out there on the hacienda. Yeah.
What's up? I just found something else. If I dare mention it on the.
What did you find?
It's another deal going on.
No, it's actually, you know what? I'm actually looking at the AIM page right now, not looking at you guys.
Yeah, Walter's still.
Let's do
yeah,
this
thanks,
right
babyface. We really appreciate that.
That same pistol you told me about.
Uh-huh.
They're showing it for $99.
What? Where?
Where, when, how, what?
Hey, listen.
You didn't do your research properly, Patrick.
For me.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, man. It says Yugo Tokarev M57 pistol X grade, $99.95.
Yeah.
Are you do you have like dealer pricing or something? Because
well, I did sign in, but I don't think they have dealer pricing on their X grade guns. I don't think.
I'm not sure about that because I see it as $150.
Yeah. Yeah, Walter.
For that price, we're going to add it to the cart and we're going to get 2 of them.
I was going to say.
I call dibs. I call dibs.
Add the cart.
Throw another money to me, and I will PayPal you the money.
Oh,
my dealer. This is legal. He's a dealer. This is all legal.
Do I hear? Yeah.
I'll take the $100 X grade. Throw one in for me.
Yeah.
How many am I getting here?
I'm staying out of this. I am staying out of this.
I'll take
available inventory? Yes.
Well, 50. So yeah, they must do dealer pricing on it.
Here's what I learned as a YouTuber a long time ago. If your friends are buying guns, you don't need to buy it. That's my secret.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Walter.
Eric Hammond jumped in and said, "Didn't Silencer Co. have a black powder rifle supposedly a while back?" And
yes.
They did. And I want to call it. What was it called? It was a cool idea.
It was. Oh man, what was that thing? We
that
actually shot it. We all actually. Walter, myself, and Patrick shot that thing. Yeah.
That was all the rage.
I think that was the first time I ever met Walter. We went out to that range.
Yeah. I don't know if that video's still up or if YouTube hit us up on that video. Let me see. What was that thing called? Who remembers what the name of that thing was? And I'll search
what
YouTube.
was it named? I don't remember now.
Yeah, I don't either.
It wasn't the Maxim because that was that pistol they done.
No, the Maxim. I have one of those.
But it circumvented NFA because it was a muzzle loader.
It was. It was the Maxim 50.
And
Maxim 50.
The can is permanently attached to the gun. So
it wasn't a suppressor. It was a, what did they call it? They had some name. Moderator. It was a moderator on the end.
Yeah, based on
as soon as they did their cute little advertising where they showed people like walking into California, California banned it.
Yeah. Actually, I found the video. Hold on. I'll throw this video up there for everyone. You guys want to see that? Let's scrub. Yeah, look at this baby face right there. Let's see. Oh, we did this at your dad's place, I think.
Did I even have a beard back then?
Here's Babyface. Yes. There you go. There's Babyface messing around with it. He's a little skinnier than he is right now. A little skinnier. So you got to load this thing up. There you go, Babyface.
Never put your face over the top of it. That was the other thing.
Because
you got a spark down in there.
Oh, over a muzzleloader? No. Bad juju, Bono.
Don't put your face over it.
Yeah.
Bad
it's got its own like little injection thing, I guess, that it comes with.
Yeah, you put like the tube in, you put your powder in, your ball in, and then you ram it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, if anyone, here you go. Here's Babyface is about to shoot it now. So it's a single shot. And it's called Maxim 50 in the Wild off-grid gun. So here you go.
It was all the rage.
Yeah. Some people got these.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, because they mailed them to them because it wasn't regulated.
No.
Yeah, here we go. Here's Babyface doing it. Boom. There you go. So you guys have
shotgun primer in it.
We shot that at my dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was at my dad's. Yeah. I remember that now. Yeah.
That's, I forgot what you call your dad's place, secret bunker?
The clandestine testing facility.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Eric Hammond said, I almost bought one. I let a friend talk me out of it.
They don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
Do they make them anymore?
Mm-mm.
Oh, they don't?
Just continue.
Yeah.
Well, that tells you right there they didn't sell enough.
Right.
Because if they were still selling them, they'd still be making them, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Range says, I remember that video. A good one, Hank. Thank you. Appreciate that. And Kathleen Music Lover says, black powder, that's racist.
Well, gosh darn it, I want some more then.
So, it's better than white powder, because someone will easily mess that up and say the wrong thing.
I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to Miami to get white powder.
Yeah.
I just got that. I'm slow.
Black powder is beautiful, baby.
You mean and a white powder?
Yes, there you go.
All right,
Yeah. Oh boy.
I don't know, man.
Boy.
Well, anyways, I do know, but I'm not going to say.
What was that stuff that they did in Lord of War with when Nicolas Cage was in Africa? They took the gunpowder and mixed it with the drug.
Yep.
And he had to snort it. What was that?
Oh wow, that's terrible.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in so long, but yep.
Yeah. Brian Quick says, I think that's the dumbest gun product ever created.
No, it's
and then sacrilege after that. He says, then the folding Glock. No, Brian Quick, you're wrong.
No, neither one. The dumbest one was that little 22 thing.
What 22 thing?
That little squeezer 22 gun, that plastic thing that looks like a bullpup.
No, that's
zip gun.
The zip gun.
No,
that's awesome. The zip gun's awesome.
What a crap!
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Who has one of those?
Yeah,
This
we know
guy.
who does.
I had somebody offer me one after we talked about that the last time, and then I thought about it, and I was like, I only wanted like $75 for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think so.
That's a pretty good price, man. Just buy it and put it up in the archive.
Coming from the guy who has every gun ever made, and he didn't want this one.
No, so silly, Walter. So silly.
Speaking of every gun, you know how we've talked about getting a Tech 9?
Yes, please.
Okay, listen up here. Listen, one of the local gun auctions here locally had one that last week it was for sale, and I was kind of watching it, and the sale ended on Saturday, and I forgot about it, but it sold for like $675. I ain't paying $675 for no Tech 9.
I thought Babyface was sending me. Yeah, I think Babyface was sending me one for around that price.
I don't know. I can get a lot more gun for $675 than a Tech 9.
So what is a good price for a Tech 9 then?
Oh, well, you know.
You're asking
maybe 300. I don't know.
300.
I know.
This guy wants $650.
Yeah.
And
local seller wants $650 for his.
How many Tech 9s?
Said he paid $50 for his.
Who?
There's thousands of Tech 9s out there. Thousands.
Florida Guns, I think isn't Florida Guns talking about the zip gun? He's not talking about Tech 9.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know. Let me know what's a good price on Tech 9s out there for anyone. How many Tech 9s are made?
Thousands. They made thousands of those guns.
Okay, thousands or tens of thousands?
Well, I don't know. I would say probably the easy made 20, 30,000 of those things. Easy.
Okay.
Because that was just injection molded and basic machine stuff. It wasn't like it's fancy or nothing. Stamped out trigger parts inside.
Stamped, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, Kellner was involved with the Tech 9. George Kellner. I mean,
Kellgren.
The Kellgren, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to find out, what's a good price on a Tech 9. I would like to put a Tech 9 into the collection. It's not bad. Yeah.
I have to leave for just a second. I'll be back in just a second.
What do you think about the Tech 9, Dave?
It'd be cool for a collectible piece. As far as like a shooter gun that saw any amount of service, I'd get something else. I mean, but if you're into collecting that kind of hardware from a day gone by era, you got to get it. You got to get its younger sibling. What was it called? The DC9, Tech DC9 or whatever, that came a little later. You need all the iterations of it. We actually integrally suppressed one of those way back at the beginning.
You are speaking Hank's language.
Dave, if you don't need it, just find it in your safe and send it to me.
No. We did it for a customer. We shipped it down to what's that big gun store just outside of Atlanta?
Atlanta?
I know which one you're talking about, and I can't think of the name.
Yeah, it's got the 1919s on the roof and all.
I drive past it on the way to North Carolina. You always see the signs on the interstate, I think.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What is the name of that place? It's not GTO.
Big. No, but it's they're a big outfit. I don't remember. We transferred it through them to a guy that lived down that way. But that was the only gun we ever transferred to them.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Check your.
We built one with an integral silencer. We even done it in blued steel so it matched the rest of the gun.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Check your 6 says was the Tech 9 full auto.
No,
they had a
no.
version.
No.
I
You
mean,
can make it
yeah,
full
yeah.
auto.
No, that's gangbanger stuff when they're full auto. Or Miami Vice stuff when they're
Yeah. Integrally. So if I get my hands on one, Dave, you're saying that you guys can make it integrally suppressed for me.
Oh,
That's what you're saying? Because now I'm going to be in the market for 2 of them. I'm going to be in the market
Don't do
for
it, Dave. Don't. It's got threads on the barrel. All you do is screw the can on.
Dave already said it. He already said he could do it. He still has the plans.
Maybe. We would have to look. We've changed software a couple of times.
$5,000. That's all. That's all it costs.
Oh, thanks,
we could
Walter.
probably make a new one cheaper.
Yeah. Okay. Walter, by the way, you're not negotiating for me. Thank you very much.
I'm trying to save you. Yeah.
The Juice says.
I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
It's not a reliable gun. It honestly isn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I
they're
understand.
not reliable. They have feed wrap issues. They don't like to feed rounds, and the magazines are fragile.
Yeah.
At least the mag we had was. It was very fragile.
I think I left my wallet at the shop.
Okay.
Can't
What a
find my
weird.
credit card. Oh, that sucks.
Oh no! Don't tell me that.
You guys all stay here. I'll be back in about 4.5 hours.
Can't order the pistols.
You better talk nice to Peggy.
I know.
No, I already got the evil eye.
Oh, you did.
All right.
That's.
I've got the solution. All right, babyface, just take your credit card, hold it up to
the
camera,
screen.
let Walter get the numbers, flip
And then
it
I'll
over.
flip it around. Yeah.
The Juice says Intratec 9, DC 9,
Yeah.
5-inch with case pre-ban. Current bid is $382.55 in Gunbroker.
Yeah.
There's your one.
Intratec is the earlier version, then it went to DC 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that was the because it's all inspired by the KG9. KG9 was a full auto gun, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But the KG9 was made in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a descendant of the was it the not the Stemple? That's a guy.
No, not the Swedish K.
Swedish K.
No. Don't put those two in the same room. No.
Oh, wow.
A Tech 9 and a Swedish K, they have no. They don't have the same daddy or mama, so it's
they would not be able to drink together.
No, that would be a no.
Wow, Walter is offended by that one. Now we know Walter's button.
Look for a Swedish K. Sure.
Yeah.
Or what the price of a Swedish K.
Yeah. Now we know Walter's button right there.
I have a Swedish K. I just need to make. I guess I'm gonna have to make an ejector for it. 'Cause it's missing the ejector.
Mm-hmm.
They're vintage, but
is it the real deal or is it a semi-auto?
No, it's a post sim. He says.
I would like to try one. That's like what the Smith & Wesson made something similar, right?
And the Smith & Wesson's a POS compared to the Swedish K.
And then there was a knockoff of the Smith & Wesson that's even worse than the
Yes, correct. And that's when you start talking Stemple and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Walter,
in
my opinion, the Swedish K is horrible.
Well, you're allowed to have your opinion.
No, I'm just joking.
You'll never. Babyface, when are we doing the video with that?
Bless your heart.
I'm on board.
If you do it in my range, I don't know.
Oh, I have a place to shoot too, by the way. So.
Yeah, you can't go to your dad's place without me. That's not allowed.
Okay, that's nice to me.
Check Your 6 says, just bought an HK SP5, very expensive, but I love it.
Those are awesome little guns.
Not
the new one.
The SP5 is that? I don't know.
Is that the new? They just come out with a civilian MP5
They
pistol.
did announce a new HK, but I can't. It's the SP5. Oh.
SP5 and SP5.
Oh, wait a second. Now hold on a second. Where is Check Your 6? Where does Check Your 6 live?
I think they're $2,800 for one. It's
They are not cheap.
Yeah. Check your six. I don't know where you live, but you are invited to come.
It's like, what should we price this at? And one guy's like, oh, they'll pay whatever you put on it. We don't care.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. These are Americans. They're loaded.
Absolutely right. Bring that to the hacienda. I'm sure he bought that with his Trump money, by the way. Bring that to the hacienda. We'll help you. So let's ask this question of everyone here on the panel: what is the best pistol caliber carbine out there? The best, the top to buy. That would also be great full auto, just like semi-auto.
Respecter.
MP5. Boom, done.
Yeah, I'm a Walther, the MP5 straight up.
I mean, if you're gonna go semi-auto, MP5.
Yeah, dude, the guns are just crazy accurate. It blows my mind how accurate mine is. It's shocking.
Yeah, I think the Chris Vector is cool. I like the Chris Vector.
Yeah.
But the MP5 is just like iconic, I guess. Yeah,
it's like
fiending after that.
Sex and Candy or something, for a gun guy.
Yeah.
It's just magic.
I'm not getting. I don't think I'm going to get one from HK though. I'm waiting for PSA. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
Mine's made by Dakota Tactical.
Really?
Those are very nice, from what I understand.
Yeah, it has. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Joe's a really great guy, and he builds a really top quality product.
Oh wow.
Did we? What's that?
I just found something else. No, I just found something else on the AIM website.
Did we?
Walter!
Seriously.
And he don't have his credit card.
I know.
Did we shoot your MP5?
Yeah, I think I brought it down last time.
Oh, okay.
I think we did.
Okay.
I brought it down and had a can on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did bring it.
Okay. So
it normally goes when I go on trips like that.
Oh, okay. Have you ever thought about making integrally suppressed barrel setup for that?
That's called an MP5 SD, and they've already been done.
Oh, you boys, you young men! I didn't bring something. I didn't
call
bring
us Mr. Tibbs.
Call me Mr. Tibbs.
All right.
I didn't. I have one of those. I have access to one of those.
Oh, one of what?
MP5 SD?
SD type guns, yeah.
Oh. And you're not sharing with the rest of us, apparently.
I have to fix it for somebody.
Oh.
It's broken.
His trigger's not resetting or something. I got to take some time to take it apart and just look at it really good. Because he doesn't. But it has it's not an HK can, but it was a can that was built by somebody who was doing those. He might still do them, but he had to wait a long time to get it. I don't know, but yeah, it's drilled old school in the back toward the chamber. That's where it vents out at.
So you shoot was it 119 grain ball and it slows it down to subsonic or something?
Yeah, exactly. It sounds just like it's subsonic. Yeah. So I've got to take a look at the pop out the fire control and take a look at it and see what's going on.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the company, but at SHOT Show, I remember one year talking to a company that's making integrally suppressed uppers for the MP5. So I guess they're waiting for that whole thing to take off. And there are people that are into that. I think I'm curious to see what happens when PSA puts one out there. How that whole situation.
Oh, those sell out real fast.
Yeah.
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 Real fast.
As soon as they put them on the site, probably the next day they'll be gone.
Oh yeah, their first run of them will be gone. Yeah.
Yeah. I will definitely be looking for some of those. Pixamite says, I wish I still had the Tech-9 I bought for $120 back in the Miami Vice days. Had a ventilated barrel extension, case, and 3 extended mags. Worked like crap. Laugh out loud.
Worked like crap. Had the extendo mags and everything.
I had one. This was years ago. This back early '90s. Somebody said, "Man, I got an Uzi for sale," and I'm like, "Really? Yeah, you got an Uzi for sale? I want to see this Uzi." So he shows me this Uzi, and guess what it was? It was a frickin' Tech-9. with a
I don't know if you graduated kindergarten when you did this.
But
obviously not a gun guy.
It had a screwed-on barrel extension and all this stuff, and I'm going, that ain't no damn Uzi. That's a Tech-9. You know, and I was like, oh, I don't want that.
What was he selling it for?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago, but I didn't want it back then, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Walter's really telling you how he feels about it.
And no one made kits to fix whatever was wrong with those or make them better? Or... No?
Kits?
Yeah, it was called an MP5.
Oh, okay.
Buy all those parts, and then you throw the Tech 9 in the garbage and you fixed it.
Because before the band thing started, you could get an MP5, semi-auto MP5 for like $650.
Yeah.
I think $475, $650. Yeah. I mean, my first HK91 I bought, I paid $650 for it. So,
what year was this? What year was this?
That was mid '80s when I bought my first HK91.
Right. So mid '80s, for that money, you could buy a decent used car. Also,
nobody wanted them then.
Yeah, I know.
They weren't. You know, I watched the news back then. So the Iran Iraq War. Those guys both used HKs to kill each other with, and they were.
Yeah, they had G3s. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Iran they had the G3 under license was what the Iran was making, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, and all these wars and conflicts all over the world, a lot of them are using FALs and G3s and stuff like that. So you see them on the news and in Soldier of Fortune magazine. I said, oh, I have to have an HK91. So I got that beautiful gun. I took it hog hunting in the whole 9 yards. You know, shooting. Dropped it. I literally dropped it one time into water. And I picked it up, tilted it, emptied the barrel, and shot a hog. Boom.
And then what happened to this gun? Why don't you have it?
I sold it to finance buying something else.
That's how it always goes.
Not a gun. So, but I sold it for like $950. So, you know, now the 91's probably run about $3,000. So.
For a nice one, yeah.
Yeah. So,
hey, another gun for you, babyface. Look up an MP34.
Are we talking old German tech here?
Yes, they're beautiful works of machining art, dude.
Sure, they are art pieces, but I cannot afford that.
Let's see.
Oh, those are the side sticks.
Yeah, side sticks.
Yes, they're awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's
it runs like a sewing machine. I got to shoot one. I got a friend, he's got one, and it's a beautiful piece of equipment.
Yep.
The receivers are all machined. There's no pipe involved in this one. It's all machined. Yeah.
It hinges up to access the bolt group, and the bolt group's this work of machining art. They're gorgeous.
The Germans know how to make some guns. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Well, that was
the magazine. The magwell actually doubles as a mag loader. They're cut out on the top, and you stick the mag in from like the bottom, and it allows you to use it as a mag loader. Yeah.
Make some cool guns.
MP34 rocks. It's a pretty sweet gun.
Yeah, let me see if I can throw. I'm guessing this is a picture right here. Steyr.
Yeah.
Steyr MP34. Oh, that does look good. Oh, I like that.
They're sweet guns.
Another one would be the Finn M31.
The
Suomi.
I've heard the Suomis are really awesome. If you watch videos from Gun Jesus from Forgotten Weapons, he's tested pretty much all of the SMGs, and he was like, the Suomi's the best.
And they're also made like a Swiss watch too. So.
And supposedly the only drum magazine that he's like, it works every time. There's nothing wrong with them. They're perfect.
Yeah. While we're talking about
that MP34 is awesome.
Oh, okay.
I loved it.
While we're talking about quality and awesomeness here, Florida Gun says, "I want a Tech 22." Tech 22.
I remember those. Oh my god.
Why?
Now that's like that. So that was just a 22 LR Tech 9, right?
Yep, just downside.
Technically.
Did those work?
No.
Probably not. Okay. Not very well.
I don't know of anybody that has one that worked properly.
Oh, okay. I see. These look interesting. So did that use Ruger mags? Because I see this one here. Was that using a Ruger mag or just looked like a Ruger mag?
I think it was very similar to a Ruger mag. Yeah.
Interesting. Intratec Tech 22. That's cool.
Yeah.
I can get you one to play with if you want. I know somebody that has one.
Huh. Okay.
So if you ever want to try it, next time I'm in Tampa, I'll grab it and bring it back up with me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, Armament and Axis says it uses 1022 mags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
having a.
that's what it looks like. Camp Dave. Go ahead.
The question before the audience is: once they stop making those guns, who's sitting on all that tooling? For the
scrap yard.
I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't know because they're legal now. Tech 9 to be completely legal now. It's not illegal.
By the way,
I've always heard of companies when they stopped producing blah blah blah. They're like, oh, they just scrapped all the tooling, and it's like, wait, what? You just scrapped all that? Like,
I can't believe somebody would scrap the dies to make the injection molding dies for that stuff. I can't.
I've heard that's a regularly thing done by large companies.
Well,
yeah, they don't care.
Yeah,
if it was sold at liquidation at bankruptcy, whoever bought it, they just auctioned the machine tools and machine shop buyers showed up and bought the equipment.
I don't want
that.
They
didn't want that tooling. Yeah, they're like, get rid of that, and it went to the scrapyard. Dollar says so.
Wow. Shooting Gallery.
It's really crazy.
Shooting Gallery, and he says, I have a Tech 9, one of my all-time fave, but it's also unreliable. So there you go.
You know, the coolest story about vintage tooling like that was Eugene Stoner's, or not, it might have been Stoner talking about it, but it was when Reed Knight bought all the tooling for the Stoner guns from Eugene Stoner to do the maintenance on the Stoner 69s for the military back in the 70s. He went to Stoner and said, hey, supposedly you got a bunch of spare parts and I'm needing some of these parts. And the dude sold him a bunch of daggum semi-tractor trailer loads of stuff that he just had left over from the program. And all the stamping dies were in them. He got all that stuff.
Oh.
So he still has that.
I mean,
oh yeah, he's got all the original stamp dies and stuff to make Stoner Model 69s. He just don't make them.
Cadillac Gauge, Cadillac Gauge was the ones that were making the Stoners for the military.
The 63, right?
Yeah, which one it is? Yeah,
that's the one
where 63 was the one the government had. The 69 was the one he come out with later, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. I've never seen the 69.
Yeah, sure. It's a piston gun.
I know Robinson Arms is getting ready to do another run of their rifles.
I see 63. I don't see 69 anywhere.
They were talking about that at the SHOT Show.
Is it a 63 or a 69?
63 was the one the government had. Babyface is right.
Okay.
The 63 is like uber collectible now.
For anybody out there watching that's never seen a Stoner 63, go look it up. Stoner basically made it so it could fill like 6 different roles. Like, you could flip it upside down and make it an open bolt gun. You could mount it in vehicles. You could, it was the coolest transformable machine gun that's ever been made. They're super cool.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, he had it where you could top mag it.
Mm-hmm.
You could bottom belt feed it from left or right.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, and then it had short configurations and long configurations.
Cool gun.
Yeah. By the way, so Edward Andrews just sent me this picture. This is the POF 22 right here that he has. I know when we had the what's his name from POF on, he was talking about the 22. So there you go. I like to get my hands on that. What is it called again? The Rebel.
What?
The POF Rebel 22.
What started? What started this conversation? There's a check your 6. Popeye's chicken sandwiches are better than Chick-fil-A. Changed my mind. It's just like, I'm trying to say, where'd that come about from? What'd that come
I'm
about?
not going to lie, those Popeye chicken sandwiches are friggin' delicious.
I had one for the first time a couple months back, and I was like, oh my God, I don't see what people are killing each other about.
It's really good.
I never got my hands on one.
Oh my God, Hank, it's not far from the studio.
You got to watch out for that Jesus chicken.
Yeah. I don't know.
I meant to mention it last night. It was funny. It's sad, but it's funny too. I guess there was a Popeyes that got burned and all this goings on, and the person who posted the picture said that wasn't it. That wasn't that. He was referring to the fact that wasn't a black person that burned the Popeyes down. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So that was probably an Antifa person that burned the Popeyes down, wasn't it?
Right,
it wasn't a Brothers. So.
Well, yeah, no black person in their right mind would do that.
I wouldn't.
What's wrong with you?
I wouldn't burn a Popeyes down. That's sacrilegious. Don't burn down a Popeyes.
Be mentally disturbed. Wouldn't it?
Someone was saying that D.C. there's thousands of people in the streets. I guess that stuff's still going on in D.C. Since you brought it up, Walter, we're gonna transition into that since you started it.
I'm sorry.
If you want to go listen to the crazy Broadcastify, they do. It's a website where you can broadcast or where people broadcast police scanners. You can go listen to the police scanners in the big cities of what's going on, and it's nuts.
Well,
oh my god! Oh my god!
I think this is because the people who run these cities don't want to stop this, but they need to.
I listened to New York the other night, and they were sorry, Walter, I'm interrupting.
That's
but
all right.
They had they were like, one guy was saying like, 300 people marching down the street after curfew, and then they were talking about like rounding them off, and they're like, okay, get behind them and go arrest. Like it was crazy. It's like an action movie listening to it.
I know that there's they're using like what is it, beanbag guns or rubber bullets and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I saw some video of I guess people who were protesting but trying to hide in houses, and it was interesting because someone sent me this video. They're in houses. It looks like they're in a like a suburban neighborhood with those townhouses kind of deals, and there's just like a squadron of cops coming down telling everyone to go into their houses. They don't. And a couple of the cops turn on them, and you just see the guns fire. It's like, wait a second, but it was rubber bullets.
I saw that and was wondering. I don't know how that.
Did you see the Antifa idiot? Somebody got shot with a rubber bullet, right? It just like a flesh wound, right? Not a deep as a leg wound, but not like it was gushing with blood or anything. The dumb bitch is using a tourniquet on the guy's leg.
Yeah,
and he's not even.
And the guy's screaming, "I don't want to lose my leg."
He's not even. He's not even bleeding hardly.
No, it's just like a blood blister.
Yeah, and they're like putting a tourniquet on the guy's leg. It's like.
I keep saying, in the heat of things, people, you don't know how you're going to really react. This is a simulation of the reality.
Don't give somebody a tourniquet that's a weetide. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just don't do that. They're going to put it around your neck if your head's bleeding?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You don't. You can watch a YouTube video how to use a tourniquet.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Come on.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to go to a couple of news things. We're going to go through this, talking about this stuff. Here's the first one that I found. This is in no particular order. Chicago Mayor Lightfoot, if you're attacked, don't use a gun. Call 911 and wait. So,
call the police and wait? Is that what you said?
Yeah. This is on The Truth About Guns. It says, Chicago police were overwhelmed this weekend as people called 911 by the thousands in response to looting, vandalism and shootings across the city, but city leaders urged residents to remain calm. The police department was responding to these calls as best as they could with a significant amount of additional resources on the south and west sides. Mayor Lori Lightfoot said during a Monday press conference, the challenge was it was everywhere. So if we had a police department 3 times the size, it would have been difficult to keep up with the calls for service yesterday. And she goes on here. Where's this? She says, obviously, we're aware of the fact that Illinois is a concealed carry state, Lightfoot said. Do not take matters into your own hands. Call the police.
Get the fuck out of here.
She said, let me remind you
of the meantime, you're dead, right?
Yeah. She says, let me remind you of the killing of Mr. Ahmaud Arbery. Do not pick up arms and try to be the police. If there's a problem, call 911. We will respond, even though we're so ridiculously busy. What do you guys think about that?
How about no? Almost finished the statement. She said, keep calm. And it should have been comma. Focus on the front sight, comma. Press the trigger slowly.
Yeah. Center of mass. You see that Philly gun shop owner in Philly? One night they tried to break in. They didn't get in. Mm-hmm. They tried to pry the doors and all this stuff. So they come back the next night, and he's waiting for him at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he capped. Did he cap 2 of them? He shot one of them dead right in the thing, and the other one shot somebody, and they got off, I think. There was like 3 of them all together. So,
Yeah, he smoked one of them clean right inside the building. Yeah.
AR-15 right there. Boom. So,
my advice to looters is you get out there and put people's lives at risk. People need to defend themselves against you. That's just the bottom line. And if you're in that situation and you have the ability to defend yourself, in my opinion, whether it's legal or illegal where you are, defend yourself.
It's better than being.
It's legal.
Yeah.
It's legal.
Yeah.
If you're defending yourself.
There's this thing called the Second Amendment.
On some sheet of paper. It's legal.
Yeah.
Is that a bayonet?
Yeah.
So I just see Walter like covered in blood, just like shaking looters.
Oh, okay. Here, I don't know if this story was true or not. It was pretty impressive. A guy in Houston, right? The home invasion in his house, grabs his AK. They're pointing guns at him. Grabs his AK, shot 2 of them dead either in the yard or in the house. Shot another one. 2 of the other ones drove off in a car, and 2 of them died. Boom.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's how you rock. That's how you rock it. Boom.
You got to defend yourself, especially when the leaders of your state, your city, or whatever aren't stepping up to quell. Listen, I had this conversation with someone. The protesting, to me, I'm fine with that, right? You know, protesting one thing, rioting another thing. People have the right to get out there and protest. We protest stuff peacefully. When you start rioting, putting people's lives at risk, damaging your cities and all this kind of nonsense that's going on here, that's a completely different thing.
Well, me and my wife and daughter basically had this conversation at lunch today, and what we figured out is there's 2 groups of people that are intermingled here. You have the legit protesters that you're talking about, and they're doing the good work. Okay, they're protesting the right causes. But what you also have is you have this criminal element that has embedded themselves in amongst the protesters. That's your looters and your arsonists and your murderers that are playing, and it's nothing more than a gang of criminals that's masquerading as protesters.
And then you have Antifa.
Which is literally the second group I just talked about.
Yeah. Listen, there's lots of different groups. I'm sure, including Antifa. There's other groups out there, but regardless of who those groups are representing, if they're trying to encourage and entice people into rioting, whatever happens to them happens to them.
But you got a group of you got a group of criminals and you got a group of legit protesters, and the criminals are hiding in the protesters.
Yeah, and the people who are protesting this that live in these cities, they do not want their cities torn apart. They live there.
No, they just want the problem fixed.
Yeah.
But okay, all right.
Walter may not agree with us. That doesn't, that's fine.
They're not, there really isn't a problem. Okay, let's put it that way. Run the numbers, run the truth, run the numbers. There's not a problem.
I'm sure that to you, Walter, there's not a problem. Life is perspective. There is a problem that people are trying to deal with. Maybe it's not one to you, which is understandable, but there is a problem that people legitimately can complain about and protest about. And we as gun guys, we've protested and all that kind of stuff. We have never gotten this much passion about anything, which is probably why we keep losing our rights. But
there's no that. Well, anyways, we're not going to go into it. It doesn't matter.
No, we can get into it.
Just run the numbers. Look at the numbers. If people were really being put down and held back and put down, it'd be everywhere. But it's not. It's not. It's put down. You're put down in here.
I would
put down in here.
Yeah. I'm not talking about that.
You got this thing that everybody's against you. Everybody's not against you. That's bullshit. And a lot of these people use that as an excuse to create mayhem. And it ain't no excuse to create mayhem because it ain't no excuse. That's like, you don't. Why are you protesting at 10 o'clock at night? That ain't the time to protest. That's the time when that's the bad shit going on.
Yeah, but Walter, there's some nuances here, right? And I would agree with you that this is not as drastic a situation in America as some people are making it out to be. I wouldn't argue that with you. At the same time, it's a situation, and people want to see changes made, and there are people trying to make changes, and things aren't today like they were back in the 50s for sure. But there's still some issues out there.
They ain't like they were in the 50s. They ain't were like the 60s. They ain't were like they in the 70s.
But Walter, it's a lot of life is perspective. A lot of life is perspective. I agree with you. But yes, and it is there, but not everything is there. Some element of it is in reality. Some element of things do have to do with your complexiction. That's a reality, right? Right or wrong?
Right. I agree.
And you're never going to change that. Sorry.
No, I don't think we're going to change that, but we all deserve to be treated like in the eyes of the law as equals. So here's my thing, Walter. For sure, there's a problem in some places, and there are people who are peacefully protesting that and rightfully protesting it. But yes, there are people also mixed into that who have elevated this to the level that it's at, and the people that we're talking about, the people of color that feel disenfranchised, are going to suffer more than anyone else from what's happening with all these riots, right or wrong?
Through their actions, they're bringing suffering on themselves. Sorry. Because now certain people look down upon those people even more. Right?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, if all of a sudden your neighborhood is besieged with riots and everything else, regardless of the color, you're going to look down at why did this happen?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say to you is that most people. So in this particular conversation we're having, most black people in America want to talk about what happened and what's happened in lots of different cases. They don't want these riots and things like that. There's some people outside of that, and yes, some of those people are black. But let's be honest, when you look at those crowds, a lot of those people are white also. There's elements of people who want to elevate this to this level.
Of course they do. And it's why one of the reasons why it is this year, it's an election year this year, my friend. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you if it was not an election year, there would be half of this. Because the people that are financing this want mayhem. Mm-hmm. And they're not black people financing this, by the way, either. This is not being financed by your black. This is not the NAACP financing this stuff. Yeah. This is rich white guys financing all this stuff.
Yeah,
but they pay for the bricks to show up in the corner. They pay for the leaflets and the lawyers to get the Antifa thugs out of jail. I know that's a fact. It's not something I dreamed up. So the more mayhem they can create, it's a diversion too from the things that are starting to happen on the Democratic side of the world. And there's a lot of stuff brewing in the background. So let's have some riots. Let's blame Trump. Let's, do this, blame that. You're not going to fix the problem of the police stuff. That's not going to fix. The riots aren't going to fix that. Sorry. They'll get fired. They get charged with murder, even though we got to look at that real close too, because there's, a lot of people react to things they don't know about. This automatic reaction, it's like, oh my God. It's like, well, do you know the facts? Do you really know what happened? Have you seen you only see what the press shows you what happened, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. So
and that's on both sides. I mean, that's on both sides.
Well, I don't look at when this stuff pops up of people getting beaten and everything else. I don't watch this stuff because I know what it looks like when somebody gets beat to death or beat with a brick. I don't need to see that's bad in, bad out. Anybody can do that. Trust me. You get pissed off if you kill anything. When the animal comes out, you'll do it. Trust me. But I don't need to watch that stuff, It's just like, but people they watch it all day long, and they're like, oh my God, look at this, they're shooting the protesters with rubber bullets. They don't show the fact that protesters are throwing Molotov cocktails and rocks at the police. I'd shoot them too. First thing, one of the problems with DC is they let this grow into these huge mobs. And in other countries, if you apply the correct amount of tear gas and flashbangs, there's no crowd. The crowd goes away rather quickly. So they want this to happen. They want this mayhem. Mayhem is money too. Don't forget that mayhem is money. So they're looking for that. The police are looking for more equipment. The cities need more help. It's just it's a cycle, and everybody forgets about what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're too busy stealing shit
Yeah.
and squealing at the top of their lungs, you know. So I was watching one thing, and here's a Mexican flag. Mexicans running around. It's like, I thought this was a black thing.
Yeah.
What's going on here? They're running around.
There's lots of people. There's lots of people hijacking something that's legitimate. That everyone in America, basically. So what happened to George Floyd? Everyone agrees. Hey, that's horrible. I think across the board, everyone agrees. I don't know, Walter. Maybe you don't, but I think you do. Right? That's a horrible thing, and there's people trying to deal with that. Of course, it's been hijacked for lots of different reasons from lots of different sides. I would agree with you that there's some cities and states out there that want to be bailed out, and the only way to do that is to burn their own cities and states down for sure. There's definitely lots of groups out there like Antifa. There's probably some white supremacist groups out there as well trying to gin all of this up.
You know there are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know they are.
Yeah. So
they're at odds. They always have been, like you said.
All to make Trump look
yeah.
bad.
So anyway, I know you wanted to say something. You wanted to say something on this, Dave. Go ahead. Let's Did you have something you wanted to get off your chest here on that?
Yeah, it's partly, Walter's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the unusual dynamic here is pretty much all the parties involved, except for the criminal element, are right. And it's not going to be something you fix easily. Rioting doesn't fix it, and never has. You can look historically at every time there's been riots, it fixed nothing, ever, ever. So, yeah, he's exactly right. But there is this problem with law enforcement and excessive use of force.
Mm-hmm.
There's times when, okay, the whole idea of don't watch the video when it shows a cop hitting a guy. But, okay, why is it okay after the guy is face down on the ground and cuffed and the cop is hitting him in the back of the head, punching him over and over and over? There's videos of that crap.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's got jacked on adrenaline, and he's apparently in a berserker rage, and he's still punching the guy because the guy won't shut his mouth. He's done pushed over the top, and he's beating this guy within an inch of his life. They had that George guy cuffed. There was 4 cops on him. They had him cuffed, and the guy just wouldn't get off his neck.
Yeah, well, clearly this guy should have never been a police officer.
That's a deeper problem. I think someone made a point in the comments if he had a bunch of complaints filed against him. Why is it that his bosses didn't fix this problem a long time ago?
Yes, and also these two actually knew each other, so there could have been even deeper things going on over here, where this particular police officer found himself in a position of leverage over this guy that maybe he had problems with, and he feels like, oh, I got people here behind me, like in other words, other police officers, and now I can show this guy what's what. And that's why the other police officers are culpable in this situation. But we've got to be complex people and be able to separate all these things. That's a thing that we have to deal with, and that I think people are trying to deal with. And ultimately, the people responsible in Minnesota and Minneapolis, those are Democrats. They're the police chief of this place is a black police chief, like I've said before, but it's a predominantly white police department. The attorney general is black, that's going to be dealing with this situation. Unfortunately, his son is out there saying he supports Antifa, so that doesn't bode well. We have to be able to take all these elements and separate them out instead of lumping everything into one and say, like, yeah, this thing right here is terrible and shouldn't happen. And then these riotings over here, people rioting and destroying cities, is terrible. I noticed someone mentioning something about Walter, so like Walter saying this is just about Trump. In my personal opinion, I don't think this has happened before Trump and will probably happen after him. Things like this happened under Obama. A president, like, why do we live in a state of mind in America where we're blaming everything on a president, regardless of who it is?
Right.
It's hilariously stupid.
But by the way, some people blamed everything that happened on Obama when he was president. Maybe some people who are here right now. The thing is, that's crazy. You can't blame everything that happens.
Well, I didn't blame everything on him. If that's what you're trying to say. I didn't blame everything.
You can't blame everything on a president. And in this case, you can't. I don't think, me personally, I don't think you can blame this on Trump, right? Trump said this thing was terrible. There's no one who said this was awesome. What happened to this guy?
Oh, there are people who have said that.
Okay,
not to that guy,
no one that is in any right mind. No one that I would want to, you know.
Not to that guy, but the riots and the protests.
But these are separate issues. These are separate issues. These, like you said, these are people taking advantage of what happened to come in and usurp that, right? To create these riots. But who? Just let me ask you this: who do you think living in these cities wants their city, like where they live, to burn?
I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody does. So why don't they?
Well, so you're right. Why don't they do? You're going to say why don't they do something?
That same police chief. They'll reelect that same attorney general. They'll elect that same governor that did absolutely fucking nothing.
Well, okay? And that's the case. That's the case of what's happening in New York, right?
They get what they get.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that's the case of what's happening in New York. And what we all have to do, I know this is like complicated. We got to be able to sift through that.
Yeah. That bitch. Yeah. It's like it's a freak show. You know, it's like, I'm so proud of my daughter. She's a freak. You know, it's like she's like a commie. I love her. You know, it's like I'd throw that bitch out in the street like that.
Yeah. You know, we've got to be able to separate this because we can see this. We could look at things like we were just talking about this, what this mayor said in Illinois, right? And the next thing I have up here on the news is, I think this happened a couple of days ago. Illinois man accused of passing out explosives at Minneapolis George Floyd protest. Right?
Straight to the straight to the rope.
These are the situations that we have here. By the way, here's the picture of the guy doing that. He's got some gold teeth. But, you know.
I don't care what color he is or what color his teeth is.
No, this is a white guy. It's not a black guy.
He needs to have a bad accident.
This is a white guy, Walter. Matthew Lee Rupert, 28, of Galesburg, Illinois, described by prosecutors as having distinctive gold teeth, that's why I said it, was charged Monday with civil disorder, carrying on a riot and possession of unregistered destructive devices. Prosecutors in Minnesota said they have evidence showing Rupert participated in the George Floyd protest in Minneapolis on Friday after traveling from Illinois. They said the video he shot at the protest was more than 2 hours long, and it was posted on his Facebook account. In the video, Rupert passes out explosives. He indicates he possessed, encourages others to throw his explosives at law enforcement officers, actively damages property, appears to light a fire a building, or light a fire on a building. I don't know what they're saying there. That's them. Light a building on fire and loot businesses in Minneapolis, and it goes on there. At timestamp 5:11, Rupert stated, "We came to riot." So we can go on with that, but that's that's someone going from Illinois to Minneapolis.
What other proof do you need?
Yeah, that's part of what I'm saying to people.
What other proof do you need? I mean, it gets to the point where I don't know. Yeah. He'll get bailed out. He'll be out. Now you try that. You try to make your unregistered explosive and just set it off and go in your yard and see what happens to you.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna throw up another one on here. Okay, woman charged with inciting riots after posting Facebook Live videos. So, Michigan woman faces up to 10 years behind bars for encouraging others to loot and throw bricks at buildings in Facebook Live video, according to report. Alexandria Alley Lyons posted the live stream video over the weekend during riots in Grand Rapids that left more than 100 businesses damaged. This is a young Caucasian American.
What I'm saying is that's Antifa.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me it isn't. It's
or just some idiot, but you know.
No. You don't get. They're not just. There's a lot of idiots out there, but this is organized idiots.
Yeah. So listen to this. In the video,
you have once you start confiscating their cell phones, which they should be doing, and start picking the cell phones, you'll find who's in charge of all this stuff.
Hopefully they do.
It'll be like the roots of a tree. It'll just go out, and all of a sudden you'll get to the trunk, and you'll go, "They're normal suspects." Come on.
Yeah.
Who's paying for this stuff? It's going to go right to the people you always think are paying for this stuff. Wow.
And hopefully we expose that so we could truly deal with it. So listen to this. In the video, Lyons is seen swigging beer, likely stolen from a bar called Mojo's in Grand Rapids, and showing off clothes allegedly swiped from F. David Barney clothiers, according to court records. At another point, she is heard multiple times encouraging her friends and others to throw bricks or other objects at windows of multiple businesses downtown, and at one point picks up a brick herself and mentions heading back to the courthouse. So this we can go on with that, but there's a lot of nonsense like that.
I'm right there with you, man. They knew who's doing this stuff, so fix it.
But it goes back to what we were saying. Some of the leaders in these places are not interested in that.
Because if they come, look here's the main thing. If they come out against the protest, they're a racist. I don't care what the protest is. I don't care if you're walking down the street with your dog protesting. If you come out against it, or you're blocking the road, and there's one black person in that crowd, you're a racist.
I think a major problem here, though, is
they don't want to be called that.
But that's not true. We shouldn't accept that as truth. Go ahead. Sorry.
The powers that be that are pushing all this stuff make money off of all this.
Oh, hell they do.
You know how much money Mal Sharpton makes off of this sort of crap?
Come on. Around? Is big old
No,
Al?
I haven't seen anything about him, which I'm surprised.
They don't get. He's laying low on this one because
I'm surprised.
He's been instructed to lay low. That's why.
Probably.
There's no money in it for him right now. We don't got a what's her name?
Yeah, lots of people.
Go ahead. He's got to be like 80 now.
I know.
Well, Jesse Jackson I think is dying, so he's not out there anymore.
Yeah.
So
lots of people are making money off of this. The left, the right, the up, the down.
To be perfectly honest, I feel like this is less about money making and more about political chess.
Yeah, and see it. The people are so used to just doing whatever the hell they want. So when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, guess what? Game on," they're like, "Oh my God, using rubber bullets, oh my God!" It's like, well, guess what? You don't have to. Like I said, you're not why are you protesting at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night? There's no protest then. Nobody can see you. It's thuggery. It's thuggery and thievery. It's all it is, and creating anarchy. That's all what it's about. You're going to circle the white. If they start to come over the fence in the White House, you're going to see something you've never seen before.
I was thinking about that.
I guarantee there's machine guns pointing at the fence, and that fence might be electrified. You don't know that. They might hit the switch, and that fence might come alive, baby. I would not put it past that fence is somehow can be brought alive. So just stay tuned. It'll get interesting.
Yeah. So here's something that goes along with Joe Biden doesn't. This article says, this is a headline: Joe Biden doesn't know how guns work. Basically, his advice was shoot him in the leg. That's what this article is talking about. Right? I don't know if you guys heard about this. Like he said that police officers should be trained to shoot people in the leg.
Sure. Hey, you know what? Yeah, go for it. Shoot right in the main part of the upper thigh. You'll do the artery there, and they're dead in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Mike doesn't know. One, he doesn't know about guns, and two, he clearly has never seen he's never been through a human physiology class because
you'll bleed out so fast.
Anatomy, yeah.
Yeah.
You break that femoral artery, and you have best like 25 seconds, 30 seconds to stem that flow. Yeah. Before you're dead.
You'll probably pass out sooner from the drop in blood pressure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But also you might this has nothing to do with strategy. If you're in a fight for your life, that's basically saying shoot to miss. Sorry. That's not that's not the strategy that people need to employ who are trying to defend themselves. So that's like saying shoot to miss as far as I'm concerned. So
Len Holtz bring it up. Where are the water cannons? I tell you what, man, water cannon's an excellent way to break up a crowd. Boom. Put a little dye in it. You see the rats the next morning. They're running around all colored, different colors, I should say. And
all colored. Oh God.
Well, look.
They did it
because of dye. He's talking about dye. He's not talking about.
I know.
If you go back to the 80s in Poland when they were before the wall came down, they were protesting in Poland. they sprayed them with a red dye, and you couldn't come. How do you come out and go to your work and your commie job if you're all red? You can't, can you? So Stanislav is not at work today. Well, where is Stanislav? Oh, he's at home because he's all red. Well,
Yeah, so I understand. It's like that bank. It's like the dye that they put into money bags.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let's put out boxes of shoes and all this stuff with dye in it. Let them steal it.
Are you still on your? You have your shoes. You got your shoes. No one jacked. No one jacked your shoes, man.
Well, you know what Apple said. I don't know if it's true or not. Apple said you steal our phones. We got tracking in the phones.
Yeah.
Tracking.
So let me
go ahead. Flip it on.
Let me pull that up. What Walter's talking about here. That is one of the things that's on my list of things for all the people who are out there getting themselves free iPhones or whatever. If you don't have any sense in your mind, iPhone looters find devices disabled with warning that they're being tracked. Along with other retailers, big and small, Apple stores have been subject to looting by opportunists amid the ongoing protests. Opportunists, that's who these people are around the United States. In response, Apple has again closed all of its stores in the U.S. and only recently reopened after closures related to the COVID-19 pandemic. But looters who bought stolen iPhones home, or people who end up buying those phones in person-to-person transactions.
What Dave's showing off.
Yeah. Hold on. What's he showing off? Hold on a second.
So easy to find my iPhone.
That's Find Friends, but it's Find Your iPhone has been coupled to it.
But Apple has that built in for their property, so you can't shut it off. Yeah.
Dave,
it's built into the phone.
Yeah.
Dave, that's just for old guys, Dave. Come on.
Yeah. Well, the thing, Apple could do that, but they
track you.
Yeah, but also they can make it so you can never register that phone or make it useful.
Yeah.
Except for it telling the cops where you're at so that you become a felon.
That's been a thing for the last 10, 15 years with smartphones.
Yeah.
That's not new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people don't necessarily think about. People do craziness. Here's another. Just to talk to you guys, and I want to talk about the whole Insurrection Act, which we're going to get to that here in a second.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of laws already in place to deal with this.
But the thing I want to talk about is, did you guys hear about in New York City? So let's see. Here we go. I've got this article. I'm going to pull it up. I think I shared this with you guys in the internal chat here. But so in New York City looters seen escaping in Rolls-Royce SUV worth at least $330,000. I'm going to read this.
Looters in a Rolls.
Yeah. You guys can look this up. Looters have been captured on video pulling into a Rolls-Royce SUV. Well, piling into a Rolls-Royce SUV worth at least $330,000 after ransacking a store in New York City. In the footage taken on Monday night in Manhattan, unidentified individuals are seen carrying objects away from a store and then entering the luxury vehicle, their apparent getaway car. So this is in Soho. It's after curfew. You can see, in this video, which I'm going to play it here a little bit, there's a Jeep Wrangler there, but then the next vehicle that you can see kind of over on the right-hand side, that is a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which is one of the ugliest SUVs on the face of the planet.
Let me ask an obvious question. Where in the hell are you going to hide this car at?
Yeah,
when you live in a apartment someplace, where are you going to hide your Rolls Royce at?
So first of all, that really depends on what's the situation here. Did someone steal this Rolls Royce and then go out looting, or is this just a hustler who has a Rolls Royce?
Oh, bullshit! It's a thug with a Rolls Royce.
There's some dudes who have Rolls Royces rolling around New York, and they might go, oh yeah, let's roll up to this super luxury high end thing. Yeah. But that person will be caught out there, or it's someone who stole a Rolls Royce. And
I'll put it again. Where do you hide your stolen Rolls Royce?
You don't. You drive it till it runs out of gas, and you just leave it sit.
And you just run.
You ditch it. You take pictures of yourself in it. And you all cruising on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you run.
It's all good till you get caught. I carry my revolver in single action. Says Hank, did you see them guys stealing them Dodge Hellcats?
No.
Yeah, there was a dealership out in California got.
I have this car I'm stealing. It's a Dodge.
Gray Death said, just rich people living the thug life.
Well,
thugs gonna be thugs.
That has happened. Look at that internet dude that was in the mall up there. The YouTube guy.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Once again, I would charge him with an exciting to myself.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. So people are gonna.
What did he do? I didn't see this.
He was trying to goad on the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Because I guess he just wanted to be beaten up or something like that. And look,
he was trying to go viral. That's what it was.
Give him a brick.
There's a lot of famous people and people who, let's just put it this way, who are trying to look like they're down with everyone.
Can I say it?
And
I'll
they
say
want to
it
be.
for you. There's a lot of white people that want to look like they're in. They look. They feel your pain.
Yeah,
a lot
they're
of
down with the
people.
peoples. They're down with the peoples.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a rich white person out there and you feel bad about this, just open your home.
Well, yeah,
to all the people.
You know what? I just say if you're a rich
come
white
in,
little
get
boy,
whatever you need.
just let a whole bunch of them live in your house and rape your wife and steal all your stuff, and then you'll be good.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, what would happen?
Yeah.
You want to place bets? I'll place bets with you.
Yeah.
Nobody will take that bet because you'll lose.
Yeah. By the way, Walter, rapery doesn't know race.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about in general.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I don't care. I don't care what color the thugs are.
No, everyone wants to defend their family and themselves and their homes. Everyone.
They can be white trash from Arkansas. They're still going to do the same thing. Sorry.
There's people in the hood right now that don't want their neighborhood burning down. Okay, they don't want their kids out there looting and all that kind of stuff, right? They don't want to see their kids get killed behind this. It's bad enough to see this happen to someone. It's worse when it happens to your child, or your brother, or your, I mean, let's look at and by the way, it's happening to police officers. We can go to the young, I was going to say the young black police officer. Actually, it's the retired black police officer. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm. The one that was shot in the head or something like
the pawn shop that got murdered.
Yeah, he was guarding the pawn shop.
He didn't shoot fast enough, I guess.
Well, I guess these
didn't have
guys.
enough rounds on
it happened at 4:00 in the mornings, and I guess he was out there on his own. Son of retired police officer killed in St. Louis. Shooting has a message for person who pulled the trigger. He says, son of St. Louis police captain. Yeah, I would have a different message, but
I will find you and I will kill you.
Yeah, I have a specific set of skills.
It's a specific set of skills, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you guys are talking about, but that's not what he said. This guy's actually being pretty forgiving here, which I'm not capable of. I'll be honest with you guys about that.
There's no forgiving that, so sorry.
The son of a retired St. Louis police captain, who was killed during looting sparked by the death of George Floyd, has a message. See that? Let me just go back here for a second. You see that line right there that I just read, sparked by the death of George Floyd? That particular human being did not want to be in all these papers in America for weeks and weeks with something that reads sparked by the death of and with their name. Right? So let's just think about that for a second, okay? I don't think any of us want that. But his son has a message for the person who pulled the trigger. Just step back from what you're doing. That's his message. Brian Powell made the remark to Fox 2 Now after David Dorn, 77, was gunned down early Tuesday while working as security for Lee's pawn shop and jewelry around 4 a.m. that morning. Powell said his brother, who was crying, called him to inform him of his father's death, leaving a numbing feeling that came over my body. This is a quote from him. The person who pulled the trigger, my message to them would just simply be, just step back from what you're doing. Know the real reason that you are protesting, which they're not protesting. This is why I'm trying to talk about the difference. They're rioting. Let's do it in a positive manner, Powell told the station. We don't have to go out and loot and do all the other things. But yeah, this is terrible, And at this point now, we've completely erased a lot of the I don't know how to put this, but the feelings that everyone had in America that we wanted to work harder in fixing this is being eroded and eradicated with all this stuff that's going on, which is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, David,
I saw an Instagram post by somebody in the gun community. I don't remember who it was. Mm-hmm. It was somebody that can speak real eloquently, and and they made a good point. It was after the first night of the riots in Minneapolis, and it basically said, you had your chance. You had the whole world standing on your side to fix this problem. Mm-hmm. You had your chance, and you blew it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Because now nobody listens. The focus has changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
been hijacked.
Exactly.
The cause has been hijacked by a lot of what's going on here. So let's talk about this insurrection situation. I've never heard of this before. This is ABC News. What is the Insurrection Act and why has it been invoked before? And I'm just going to read this and then we can all get into this here. When President Donald Trump threatened Monday to use the active duty military to deal with nationwide violent protests over the last weeks, he was suggesting he might invoke a law more than 200 years old. If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them, he said at the White House Rose Garden. Let's let Dave jump in here, Walter. I know you have stuff. Let's let Dave, since he's the guest.
Go for it.
Yeah, Dave, what do you think about all this? And then we'll get into what is this Insurrection Act? If
that you're treading on really dangerous ground.
Yep.
And once you go there, you really don't get to come back from it as the same country ever again. Okay. You don't just turn it off. If that makes sense.
Okay.
It creates more problems than it fixes, and life as we know it will change forever if that happens. I'm really not wanting to see that happen.
Okay. Walter, you can jump in here on what you think about that.
I'm just going to say there's plenty of laws already on the books to deal with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walter's right. Looting is illegal. Murder's illegal. Arson's illegal. I mean,
inciting a riot.
Right.
Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, it's all there. And including stuff about riots too.
So let me just say this. I think I agree with what you said, Dave. Like we have to be very careful of what lines we cross and whether or not we could come back from that. At the same time, this Insurrection Act has been around for 200 years. It's been used. The last time it was used was 92. I can sit here and list all the different reasons. A lot of times people have used that to help in racial in situations that are, where race is involved. And
if you look at the last 40 or 50 years of Insurrection Act uses, let me list off the cities it happened in.
Yeah,
Los Angeles, 92.
Yeah. In the riots, the LA riots in 92.
LA riots, 1968, Chicago, Illinois, 1968, Baltimore, Maryland, 1968, Washington, D.C., Detroit, Michigan, Alabama.
Yeah. The usual places, right?
So, but it has been used in the last, I don't know how many years.
And the world didn't come to an end.
Yeah.
It's true.
Also, by the way, it was used in 1831 against Nat Turner's slave rebellion.
Nat Turner's slave rebellion?
Let's just keep
that. Dispute by workers on the Chesapeake?
Yeah,
probably
it was used in
was it used against the World War II, the World War I vets when they came back and they had
I need to look. I see here that Ulysses S. Grant used it in South Carolina in 1871 to suppression of Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, so it's not just one-sided.
So,
that's the point. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Grant, when you get a chance, there was a thing on Discovery on the History Channel about Grant. Learn about Grant. Very, very, very. Very against slavery and all that stuff.
It was Kennedy used it. I'm sorry, Walt. Kennedy used it in 1963 to enforce his desegregation orders on all Alabama public schools.
So it's not a one-sided thing.
No.
But the one thing that's overwhelming in this list is the states requested it. So there are a couple instances, 5 instances of the probably 15 that are here, or maybe 20, where the states didn't request help, but for the overwhelming majority, the state said, we need help with this.
Good point.
But you have like this mayor in Chicago that says, he ain't doing that here.
Yeah, so that's another scary thing.
So who is going to do something?
Well, and this is the problem, and this is why I'm trying to tell people about nuance, like we were discussing Trump. But here's the position that Trump is in, right? If he does nothing and lets that happen, someone's going to go, look at this guy. He's just letting people go out there and kill all these black people and do whatever they want. He's not even trying to do anything about it. If he says, like you're saying, I think, and I believe this, a lot of the people running these states and cities don't want to do anything. Okay? They don't want to help the citizens of their state, the people that they took office and swore to protect. So if he does, at some point he has to do something. But if he does something, then we're like, oh, Trump's taking over the government. We got to figure this out here. What do we want? And also if he doesn't do anything and this keeps getting out of hand, then you might find some individuals who do have a specific set of skills. They decide, hey, if we're rocking and rolling on our own, we're gonna get together, organize, and we're gonna rock and roll.
We're gonna take care of business.
Yeah. So
and then you'll find it won't go very well for the protesters. I mean, it
won't go well for lots of people.
For the protesters.
I can just tell you, it won't go well for lots of people. But yeah.
On a semi-funny note, did you guys see the National Guard when they got thrown in there with M16s with no magazines in them?
I know.
They're like patrolling with old ass M16s and no ammo. That's useless.
That happened in '91.
Yeah,
they just said, here, just kind of show force, but you can't actually shoot anybody.
And the U.S. military has tools to break up crowds too. You ever seen?
They got some real cool shit.
You ever seen their noise things they can use?
Yeah.
They aim that shit at a crowd. Those people aren't going to hang out.
Yeah.
You see the microwave gun that makes your skin feel like it's burning?
Yeah. I heard they have shit sticks. Is that real? Is shit stick a myth?
Probably those ass missiles like you're talking about.
No, that's like something they hit you with and then you just like lose your bowel control.
That would be hilarious if that's a real thing.
You definitely knew who they hit.
No, you know what? I saw that in I saw that
away from the protest.
Guess where I saw that? I give you 3 guesses where I saw that. Who knows? Come on. Who looks at this show?
I don't know.
I'll give you guys 3 guesses where I saw.
I'm not sure I could guess the right one.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty.
Oh, damn it! Of course it was.
Oh, then that's got to be real then.
Yeah, it's probably real. But the truth of the matter here is that, at some point leaders need to make choices and decisions.
You have to stand up.
Yeah. And if they don't, this is the reason why we have the Second Amendment. Okay? If they don't, and we feel like our lives are in danger, and America is really in danger of not getting over this or going back, then, I hope it doesn't get to that point. But it really comes down to how far do people want to take things so that we can all bail out all these states, and then we can just print up money, and then we can destroy everyone else behind what's going on. We really have to make that decision.
Look at the Michigan governor. So she was so indignant with the COVID-19, right? She was such a badass, and now she's like, I need some money. I need some money. I think I'd tell that woman will be nice to learn how to piss up a pole.
By the way, what happened to COVID-19? I guess we cured that, right?
Yeah. Oh, hey, wait. You know what? You know what the city did here in Safety Harbor? We were going to have a really nice 4th of July parade like we have every year here. The American Legion puts on a 4th of July parade. They pulled the permit for the parade. So now they're just going to have like a rolling parade.
Who runs the city of Safety Harbor? Is it Democrats, liberals?
They are. Well, I'll use the term. They're nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan.
I hate that.
What does that mean? There's no nonpartisan in Florida.
Well, you have elections where they don't really. It's just.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're socialists.
Well, they always lean that way. But they're scared. Everybody's still scared of their shadow about this COVID-19 thing that they pulled the parade for the parade permit. So, I mean, they're just going to have a ride-around parade. The vehicles will just ride through the city, and it's like,
okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's the 4th of July. Born on the 4th of July. You got a patriotic stuff. You got to. Oh, no, we'll just ride around. We have a party at my house on the 4th of July.
Hopefully we get over this. Hopefully we fix this situation so we can all move on. Oh, we're welcome now? We're invited?
Yeah. My party's open to everyone.
It's official.
Oh.
Well, not everyone, but all my friends.
Chat, you guys hear that?
Yeah. Let's just put out the address.
Everybody's in chat right now.
just drive around, look for military vehicles. You'll probably find them pretty
Well,
quick.
if you see two skeletons sitting on the... No, I don't want to wait. Let me take that back. I don't want to get in trouble with Peggy.
As they say, move along. Move along.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, not invited. Okay, so let's see. What other... Listen, we've got Dave from...
I got one question.
We've got Dave from Liberty here. Yeah, let's get a question.
I am... This is a real question. Nothing about this garbage stuff and stuff. Full auto AK. What's your can for a full auto AK?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would... Honestly, it's 7.62 by 39.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure if it's 5.45.
Is it the chaotic or what direction would you go?
What would work best?
I would say honestly it'd probably be a Constitution overboard that we'd open the bore up to accept 30 cal bullets.
Oh, okay.
That's because it's the most durable. It really is. It's a 4140 alloy steel can. It's almost indestructible.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a point I've watched surefire Inconel cans melt on belt feds on YouTube. So So
yeah.
But
so wait, which one was that again? Which one was that?
Yeah.
Constitution.
The Constitution. Okay. Yeah.
Because I like to get a gun set up with a can that actually stays on the gun.
Oh yeah.
It's always off on here there.
I have a perfect suggestion for this.
What is that?
Integrally suppressed AK battle.
Oh gosh, no. Come on.
This is the whole purpose.
You could get what was his name? Will whatever. He did one on TV. I saw.
Oh, that's Ackles did one.
Oh
yeah,
no,
Will
not
Hayden
that
did.
man.
Now
I don't think he has gun rights no mo. Just say
Well,
it.
he doesn't. No, he's in the big.
We don't speak of him. We don't speak of him. He's what's the word? Not ostracized, but excommunicado. He's excommunicado.
I'm gonna say it. He's in prison.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm thinking I like to have a gun just set up. It stays on.
Have you got a threaded barrel on it already? I mean,
I've got a few of them. Just the standard left-hand 14 millimeter stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's making sure you didn't rebarrel one yourself and you didn't.
No. I really like to have a reflex style can where it goes over the barrel sticks out so far, then the can goes over the barrel, and it reduces the overall length. But that's that's harder to do.
Yeah,
it's more expensive.
Yeah.
I hate to hijack your question here, but this seriously, aren't the Russians working on an integral AK somewhere? We saw that. We talked about this on the show. Oh, they have them, right? Yeah. So how difficult is that, Dave?
Vitrinez or whatever, isn't that what that's called? Vitrinez.
Yes, Vitrinez, and that is not an AK.
Oh boy, here we go.
Not even close.
See, when you start talking about integrally suppressed, you got to do something. What are you doing with the gas system?
Yeah.
You're gonna make a can that goes over the gas system. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. That's why we have Dave Saylors, the expert,
this
here
how it works.
to sort this out.
It's one of those things. If it was so cool and easy, everybody that makes cans would make one. But you don't see them out there because it ain't easy to do.
Dave, I think you could do it, man. And call it the hand.
Yeah, you can put the gas system inside the tube. We do that with our integral ARs. Our gas block is inside the silencer on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but all you're running is a tube then.
Yeah,
you're not running a ginormous piston.
And I have a 300. I have a 300 blackout version of that, Leonidas. Yeah, pretty awesome. So why can't we do it with an AK?
Oh, you can. Like you said, it's just how much money you want to spend on an AK. It just gets into complex machining, and then you wind up having to custom tune it. You have to play with the gas tuning a lot, so you don't have a lot of leakage. Because they're real leaky design on purpose, but because it makes them rugged, and they're real reliable. They can get dirt and debris in them and continue to work. So they're over-gassed with a sloppy gas system on purpose, and you have to refine all that. You'd have to go to probably, like, was it the KNS makes the special piston that's adjustable? Yeah, and you'd run one of those, and then you'd have to come up with like brass ring seals at the back so that you minimize the leakage around the piston, and you have to run a tubular piston like an HK cocking tube style so you could bush it. And
haven't you heard enough already, Hank Strange?
No, here's what I'm thinking, Dave. Let's make a prototype and see what happens.
Time consuming. Oh, look, he's gonna want one. Look at Babyface. He's rubbing his face.
I am not on this.
You think I got? You think I got a lot of hate for welding an AK together?
Man, I know how to run
you don't remember when Atlas came out with that integrally suppressed AK and the hate they got?
And they got a lot of hate. I can't. Yeah, I didn't remember.
I mean, you get those AK crazies
purists
out there
like Babyface.
And it's like, what are you doing? It's like,
yeah. Okay, so I guess we're not going to do that. I know we don't have a lot of time. I have to talk about this because this just came out, so we got to talk about this. 6mm ARC. Hornady announces a new contender in the caliber wars. 6mm ARC. I also saw that. So this is on the Firearm blog for anyone who wants to see that. I also saw that. I think that it was Barnauls. Barnauls announced that they have barrels and stuff like that for the 6mm. Have any of you guys kept up with this? Anyone know what's going on with this whole 6mm?
Is that an AR-15 thing?
The casing looks like it's based on a Creedmoor case, from just at a glance.
Yeah, so it says here, Brownell's new barrels, uppers, and bolts for the new 6mm ARC. And from what I read, just to make this brief, it's supposed to be between the 5.56 and 308.
Again, another one?
It looks like it's supposed to
another one.
It's supposed to run in an AR platform. So
what happened? What happened to 6.8mm?
Oh, yeah, 6.5 Grendel.
Boom, gone. I mean, it's still there. Grendel's an awesome cartridge, what I hear. Mm-hmm. But well, another one. Boom, gone.
I've never understood.
I've got a 6.5 Grendel gun, but go ahead, Patrick. Sorry.
To me, like, when it comes to 5.56, the 77 grain Match King is just the holy grail of 5.56. It tumbles nicely, it shoots well, it can go distance and take out targets. Like, why are we retooling to a brand new cartridge when we can just make 77 grain Match Kings like the standard instead of 62 grain shit projectiles that nobody likes?
Yeah.
What's senators from that county or that state?
I don't know.
What I'm saying?
Some government contract is about to come up. And Dave was saying, like, isn't there something called 545? You know.
Isn't that like 77 grain or something?
Oh, I love 545.
It's big. It's a bigger bullet, right?
Yeah, that's 60 grain.
It's 60. Okay.
But the Mark 262 to me is like the holy grail of AR-15 rounds, and they just never made it.
So let's do a quick thing with none of us knowing anything about this, and we'll go around and see who thinks it's going to be the next hottest thing. Dave, you think it's going to be hot or not, Dave?
Not, because there's 6mm Creedmoor already, and it's a proven round.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Walter, hot or not?
I'm not betting on it. Not betting.
No, Walter, not betting on Babyface.
Would not put my money on this round.
Okay, so for my thing, I don't know, man. I personally don't need a whole bunch of new rounds.
Well, yeah. Hello.
So,
oh wait, I just got my Creedmoor gun. Oh, there's a new cartridge. Oh my god, I gotta get it.
Yeah, I'm just getting used to 6.5 Creedmoor. I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, there's another one next month. I gotta get it.
And 308 is actually not bad. 308's not bad. So I don't know what
I still have a 260 Remington. You know,
right?
Wow. Look, Hank don't even know what that is.
No, I don't.
What was that from the 80s?
It was before its time. It's the 6.5 Creedmoor. Basically, all it is a 308 neck down to 6.5mm. And Remington come out with it, and it never bit the market. Something else launched about the same time and stole the thunder off the round, and it just kind of puttered along with the precision rifle community shooting it. And then Hornady decided to make an improved version of it because they seen that 6.5 millimeter was a popular bullet. So they come out with the Creedmoor, done a heavy marketing push, and it took hold.
And now we also have the Valkyrie too. The two.
Can I just say this is not the right time in history to put out a new friggin' caliber? This is, I don't know. This might not be the best time in the world to introduce it. Or maybe it's the best time. Like, no one will notice. And we can.
No one will notice.
Nobody will
a year from now. I don't know.
Always good for business when nobody notices. Yeah,
I'm not really sure. The Juice says, cough, cough, 77 SMK, same price as 308 Win.
But yeah, so I was like, put that, put a 77 SMK in a SBR. That's some good ballistic performance there.
Okay.
Those terminal ballistics.
I like that.
Yes.
Babyface likes the idea of that. I have no idea what he just said. I just heard terminal ballistics, which sounds like a rap song. Intergalactic terminal ballistics.
Hey, here's your new cartridge. This will catch on. 6.8 Rioter.
Oh, God. Okay, Walter, thank you for shutting us down.
Now is not the time to be producing that, ladies and gentlemen.
6.8 Rioter.
No, we do not approve Walter's
What
message.
about the last name? Somebody's got to have a last name of Rioter out there. Come on.
Boy. John Parsons says, Hank, check out 300 PRC. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, another.
There's so many wildcats out there.
I don't need more rounds to check out. Thank you very much.
We cut your chamber. Hey, Hank, you want a round? We have the chamber reamer to make the 375 ShyTac.
You want to spend some money on your ammo?
Do you want to kill somebody at like 3 miles?
Yeah, but
yes.
You mean hit a target?
I mean hit a target. Hit a target.
Yeah, hit a target, and the target behind that one.
The
target behind that one.
Yeah. Okay.
I would love to have a ShyTac.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of different rounds out there.
416 ShyTac too, isn't there? Is that one of the four?
Yeah.
The big
408.
Yeah.
408 ShyTac.
350 Legend is also coming out.
Yeah. People say to me, "Why do you make a ShyTac? 408 ShyTac?" It's because who's going to buy my test firing ammo?
Yeah.
Nobody.
A lot of these are specialized hunting. I don't really see people like, if you want to fight, you got
specialized hunting.
You got listen.
Yeah. In the Afghan desert is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You mean that specialized hunting?
I think we should stick to the basics though. 5.56, 7.62.
That was tested by some Koreans in L.A. That's what I was tested by the Koreans.
Oh, gosh.
They were shooting targets in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh.
God.
And I guess I should wrap it up now.
And on that note.
Now we've just gone too far. It's probably the time to wrap it up. Let's do this. Let's start with Babyface P. Patrick, how can the folks out there find out more about you, support you, etc.?
YouTube.com/babyfaceP. Channel is growing like crazy and it's awesome.
Did you hit 4,000 yet?
Yeah. I put out a little thing about it. And we're gaining almost 600 subs a month. Wow. So we're shooting. Things are going good. We are.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I have a video coming out.
Oh my guns! Oh my guns, man!
Walter's is a lot of it. The AR-180 is coming out on Monday, and then we have a project that's going to be started next week, building a Polish Tantal. So that'll be our next series.
All right, very cool, very cool. Let's go to Walter next. Walter, how can the people find out more about you, support you, etc.?
Yeah, they can check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Safety Air Firearms. Also, safetyairfirearms.com. Stenparts.com. If you need some Sten parts and barrels and things like that for your sub guns. Instagram. Did I say that already? Instagram, Safety Air Firearms. Also, playing with the mini bikes on Dirtfoot Racing. As you can see, I've been playing with the mini bikes.
The boots are back.
Yeah. Anybody who wants a free pair of boots.
No.
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 Aren't you going to give away the ones you duct taped? No.
I threw those away. I tore them up, threw them away. I saved one.
There's starving children in Africa that would have liked to have gotten those boots for their mini bikes.
I mean, tell you, they were falling apart. Those starving children would have threw them away too, or they would have rioted once they got those bad boots. That's what would have happened.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, let me just before we go to Dave here, this is This is actually an interesting message. I'm not going to say who sent me this message, but someone just sent me a message here, and it says, hold on, let me read it to you. Bless you, my brother. Sometimes your colleagues are too much to deal with.
And you know what? When I'm not here, is this true or false, Hank? When I'm not here, people asking, "Where's Walter? Where's Walter?"
Yeah. Also true. Walter carries on like this is Walter every day. This is you get the real.
This is Walter.
Yeah.
There's nothing different.
No. Yeah, you asked for him, you got him. I don't know what you want.
Yeah, like Toyota. You want Toyota, you got Toyota.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, how can the folks out there find out more information about Liberty suppressors? If they want to talk to you, communicate, ask questions, all that kind of stuff. What can they do?
They can reach us at our website, which is www.libertycans.net or libertysuppressors.com. We got both domains. They can call us at 706-661-6911. It's right. It's all over the website. It's easy to find. Mm-hmm. If you just Google Liberty Suppressors, it'll come up. Should be a first page hit. It better be. We pay for that. Let's see. And we're on Facebook as Liberty Suppressors. We're on Instagram as Liberty Cans because Liberty Suppressors is just so long, so we shortened it to Cans. But yeah, and we do respond to comments on there. We don't check the DM on Instagram as often as we probably should, but we will check it at least 2 or 3 times a week, and we'll write you back. But typically, we'll try to get you to go to the Liberty email, which is support@libertycans.net, and because that's where our customer service team, they check that every day. And so if you need answers, you can call us or you can hit that email and you will get an answer that day.
Okay.
But yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
One more thing.
Sure.
One more thing. If all you guys that are watching this stream are still here, right down there is a subscribe button. You go click it and do it right now.
I appreciate it. I got to record that, but I got to put that in the recording.
The tagline.
Yeah. By the way, if you're out there looting in your Rolls-Royce Cullinan and you want to be high-speed, low-drag, Babyface, myself, and Walter, we all tried out the Manscaper. It's the best thing for your Ghiblis, however you want to put it, your Ghibli bits. It keeps you high speed, low drag. That's all I'm saying. And the price is so good, you don't have to loot. You could use the code Strange20. You could get 20% off, free shipping, all that kind of good stuff. I mean, it's awesome. It's better than your iPhone making you into a felon because you bought it off of a looter or something like that.
Even think about this. Even if you stripped the Rolls Royce down and sold the parts, who are you going to sell the parts to?
Right, there's nobody to buy them.
All of those parts on a Rolls Royce are serialized. I can just tell you that right now.
Rolls Royce people don't go on eBay looking for parts, man.
Look, check my local Craigslist first.
No, that's a little person called the FBI on Craigslist.
I'm just going to leave you with that thought. What do you do with a stolen?
No idea. But like I said,
just burn it or something. I don't know, but you can't keep it.
Drive it around a little bit. Okay, so like I said, thanks to everyone for being here. Here, let me drop the end. I'll drop the end on everyone right now. Make sure you guys subscribe, like Dave said.
Chris Bullis, hey, Hank.
Yeah, what's up?
I just this is too good. Chris Bullis just chatted in and said, "Trim your strange."
That is the tagline.
Trim your strange. There you go.
Yes.
Hashtag trim your strange. Use the code Strange20 at Manscaped. It's awesome. It's going to help us also pay for this nonsense. So I'm just saying, we need it. We need it, and
hashtag trim your change. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Dave. Thanks, Walter. Thanks, Babyface. Appreciate it. Shout out to Harry's Holsters. Thanks for sponsoring this. We're out of here. Everyone, be safe out there. Any last words, guys? Before I hit the button here.
Keep your powder dry, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead, Walter. And what were you going to say, Walt?
Just watch your neighborhood. Watch your neighborhood.
Okay, there you go. Babyface, trim your strange. We're out. Peace.